The storm hit right as I turned onto Old Mill Road. I was driving home from my sister's house after helping her move, and I was already annoyed because I had stayed later than planned. It was close to midnight, my phone was at 12%, and the rain was coming down so hard my windshield wipers were useless. Old Mill Road wasn't my usual route. It cut through a stretch of woods and farmland for about 15 minutes, then came out near the highway. In good weather, it saved time. In a thunderstorm, it felt like driving through a car wash with trees on both sides. About 5 minutes in, lightning flashed so bright the whole road turned white. That was when I saw the car. It was pulled halfway into the ditch with its hazard lights blinking weakly through the rain. The driver's side door was open, and a woman was standing beside it, waving both arms. I slowed down. I didn't stop right away. Something about it felt wrong, but I couldn't tell if that was instinct or just the storm making everything look dangerous. Then lightning flashed again. She was holding a baby. That was what made me stop. I pulled ahead of her car and parked on the shoulder with my hazards on. Before I even opened my door, she ran up to my window, soaked, crying, clutching a bundle against her chest. "Please!" she shouted through the glass. "My car slid off. My phone is dead." I cracked the window. Rain sprayed straight into my face. "Are you hurt?" I asked. She shook her head fast. "My husband went to get help, but he hasn't come back." That made me look past her. Her car was old, dark blue, sitting at an angle in the ditch. The back window was fogged over, and the trunk was slightly open. I asked where her husband went. She pointed down the road, away from the highway. "He walked to a farmhouse." There were no farmhouses down that way, at least none close. I knew because I had driven that road before. I told her I could call police. She said, No, please, just let us sit in your car. The baby's freezing." Another flash of lightning lit up her face. She looked terrified. Real terrified. Not fake. So I unlocked the passenger door. She climbed in immediately, dripping water all over the seat, still holding the bundle close. The second she got in, I smelled something. Not perfume, not rain, gasoline. I glanced at the bundle in her arms. It was wrapped in a towel. Too still. I couldn't see a face. I asked, "How old is your baby?" She didn't answer. She just stared through the windshield at the road ahead. Then she said, "Drive." I thought I misheard her over the rain. "What?" "Drive." Her voice had changed. Flat. No crying now. No panic. Just the word. My hand moved toward my phone in the cup holder. She saw it. "Don't." That was when the passenger door behind me opened. I hadn't locked it after she got in. A man slid into the back seat. He was soaked too, wearing a dark rain jacket with the hood pulled low. I yelled and reached for the door handle, but before I could open it, something cold pressed into the side of my neck. A screwdriver. Not a knife. A long, flathead screwdriver. He said, "Keep both hands on the wheel." My whole body went numb. The woman still held the towel bundle. Up close, I could see now that there was no baby. Just clothes wrapped around something square. Maybe a brick. Maybe nothing. The man in the back told me to put the car in drive. I asked what they wanted. He pressed the screwdriver harder. "Just drive." The woman pointed forward. "Slow." I started driving. Rain hammered the roof so loudly it almost covered my breathing. My headlights barely reached 20 feet ahead. Every few seconds, lightning flashed through the trees and showed me the woman's face, completely calm now. No tears, no shaking, nothing. The man in the back asked if I had cash. I said no. He asked if I had cards. I said yes. He told me there was an ATM at the gas station near the highway. That was when I understood. They weren't stranded. They were using the storm because nobody else would be out there. No witnesses. No pedestrians. No one stopping unless the situation looked desperate enough. And a woman with a baby in a thunderstorm looked desperate enough. The gas station was still about 10 minutes away. I knew if I made it there would be cameras, lights, maybe people. But I also knew they might make me pull somewhere else first. Then lightning hit close. Not near, close. The whole car flashed white, and the sound came at the same time, like the sky cracked open right above us. The woman flinched. The man flinched too. The screwdriver lifted from my neck for maybe half a second. That was all I had. I slammed the brakes. The car skidded on the wet road. The woman hit the dashboard hard and screamed. The man in the back slammed into my seat. I threw my door open and fell out onto the road. I didn't even take my phone, I just ran. The rain was so heavy I couldn't see where the shoulder ended. I slipped in mud, caught myself, and kept running toward the trees. Behind me, the man shouted. Then my car horn started blaring. I looked back once. The woman was trying to climb over the center console into the driver's seat. The man was getting out after me. I ran into the woods. Branches tore at my face and arms. My shoes sank into mud. Thunder kept rolling so loudly I couldn't tell how close he was. Then I saw a light. A real one, not lightning. A porch light through the trees. I ran toward it screaming before I reached the yard. An older man opened the door with a shotgun in his hands. I don't remember what I said. Probably nothing that made sense. But he saw the blood on my neck from the screwdriver and pulled me inside. He called 911. The police found my car 30 minutes later, abandoned near the gas station with the driver's door open. My wallet was gone, so was my phone. The blue car in the ditch was gone too. They found tire tracks where it had been pushed or driven out after I ran. A deputy told me later they believed at least 3 people were involved. The woman, the man who got in my back seat, and someone else waiting nearby to move their car. They never caught them, but 2 weeks later, police in the next county reported a similar incident during another storm. Same setup, a stranded woman, a baby wrapped in a towel, a man hiding nearby. This time, the driver didn't get away until after they drained his bank account and left him beaten behind a closed rest stop. I still think about that night whenever it storms. Not because of the thunder, not because of the lightning. Because I know if that woman had been standing there alone, I might have kept driving. But she knew exactly what would make me stop. She knew most people can ignore a stranger in the rain. Almost nobody can ignore a baby. I was house sitting for my aunt during the worst thunderstorm that year. She lived alone in an old farmhouse about 20 minutes outside town. Old, quiet, and far enough from town that storms made it feel even farther. She was visiting my cousins and asked me to stay because the power went out easily. I figured it would be easy money. Feed the cat, bring in the mail, make sure the basement didn't flood. The storm started around 10 p.m. By midnight, rain was hitting the windows so hard it sounded like gravel. The lights kept flickering, so I gave up on TV and sat in the kitchen with my phone. At 12:30, the power went out. My aunt had a lantern on the counter and a small generator outside for the fridge and sump pump. The problem was, I had to go outside to start it. I put on her raincoat, grabbed the lantern, and stepped onto the back porch. The yard was almost black except when lightning flashed. In one burst of light, I saw the barn, the fence, the tree line, and the basement storm doors beside the house. They were open. My aunt kept those doors padlocked because they led straight into the basement. Now, both doors were lifted open, banging lightly in the wind. Then lightning flashed again, and I saw the padlock on the ground. Cut. I went back inside, locked the kitchen door, and called 911. The dispatcher said officers were dealing with storm calls, but someone would be sent. The basement door was off the hallway near the laundry room. It had a lock, but it was old and flimsy. I stood at the end of the hall and listened. At first, I only heard rain. Then came a soft scrape from below, like something being dragged across concrete. I whispered that someone was in the basement. The dispatcher told me not to approach the door. I backed into the kitchen and grabbed the biggest knife from the block. That was when someone knocked from underneath the floor. 3 slow knocks. Not on the basement door, on the ceiling below me. A man's voice came through the floorboards. "Hello?" I didn't answer. He knocked again. "Please, I'm hurt. My phone's dead." For a second, I didn't know what to believe. The road outside curved near the creek, and in that weather, someone really could have crashed. But then I remembered the cut padlock. Nobody in an accident cuts a padlock before asking for help. I told the dispatcher what he said. She asked if all doors were locked. I checked what I could see. Front door locked, back door locked, windows shut. Then the basement stairs creaked. One step, then another. The basement door handle turned slowly. The man behind it said, "Open the door." I stayed silent. He tried the handle again, rattling it harder now. "I know you're up there." The lock held, but the wood around the latch bent every time he pulled. I backed away until I hit the counter, knowing police weren't close. Then the pulling stopped. For a few seconds, there was only rain and thunder. After that, I heard him walking back down the basement stairs. I almost felt relieved. Then, the outside cellar doors slammed shut. He had gone back out through the basement entrance. A few seconds later, footsteps moved through the mud around the house, coming toward the back porch. I turned off the lantern and crouched beside the cabinets. A man in a soaked gray hoodie appeared outside the glass. Lightning lit him up, and I saw blood running down the side of his face. He saw me at the same time. He slammed his shoulder into the door. The first hit cracked the wood around the lock. By the third, I was dragging the living room couch into the hallway. The kitchen door broke open before I finished. Cold rain rushed into the house. He came in behind it. I threw the lantern at him. It hit the floor near his feet and went out, leaving the house dark except for lightning through the windows. I ran upstairs, locked myself in my aunt's bedroom, and shoved her dresser in front of the door. He came up after me, taking his time. The bedroom door shook when he hit it, but the dresser held. Then he said, "I just need your car keys." I didn't answer. That was when sirens came through the storm. He went quiet. Then I heard him run back downstairs. Police caught him in the backyard trying to climb the fence. They found a wrecked car half a mile down the road, hidden near the creek. It had been reported stolen earlier that night after a gas station robbery. He had crashed during the storm and walked until he saw my aunt's house. He wasn't looking for help. He was looking for another car. The basement doors were replaced. The locks were changed. The kitchen door was fixed. But every time it storms, I think about those 3 knocks from under the floor. He was already inside the house, already beneath my feet, and still trying to make himself sound like someone who needed saving. I was working the closing shift at a roadside motel when the storm rolled in. It was the kind of place people used when they had no better option. Truckers, contractors, people passing through too late to keep driving. The owner lived 10 minutes away and always said, "Call me if anything happens." Most nights nothing did. By midnight the parking lot was flooding, the sign outside was flickering, and the lobby lights kept dipping low enough to make the ceiling buzz. I had 3 rooms occupied. Room 6 had an older couple, Room 9 had a truck driver, Room 12 had a man who checked in just before the rain got bad. He paid cash, gave a local address, and asked for the room farthest from the road. Around 1:20, the front desk phone rang. It was the woman from room 6. She said someone had knocked on their door twice and asked to come inside to use the phone. I asked if she opened it. She said no. Then she said, "He knew my husband's name." I checked the monitor. The rain made the parking lot feed almost useless, but I saw a figure walking toward room 6. Lightning flashed, and for half a second, the screen showed a man standing outside their door. He wasn't knocking, just facing it. I called the owner, no answer, so I called police. The dispatcher said an officer would be sent, but the storm had trees down across town. While I was still on the phone, room 9 called. The truck driver said someone was messing with his rig. On the monitor, his trailer lights were blinking, even though he hadn't turned them on. Then the parking lot camera cut out. A few seconds later, the lobby lights went out. The emergency light above the door came on, turning everything red. I locked the front entrance and stood behind the desk with the cordless phone in my hand. That was when someone knocked on the lobby glass. 2 polite taps. A tall man stood outside in a dark raincoat with the hood up. He leaned close and said, "Can you open up? I'm in room 12. I didn't move. The man who checked into room 12 had been shorter. He knocked again. My key stopped working. I told him to hold it up. He paused, then pressed a motel key card against the glass. It was real. I asked his name. He said, "Daniel." Room 12 was under a different name, so I kept the door locked. His expression changed when he realized I wasn't opening, more like he was tired of pretending. He stepped back, looked toward the rooms, and lifted one hand. He wasn't waving at me. He was waving at someone behind the building. The phone rang again. Room 6. The woman was whispering. She said someone was at their bathroom window. I told her police were coming. She said, "He's trying to open it." Then the line went dead. I grabbed the metal cash drawer from under the register. Outside, the truck driver from room 9 came running across the lot in the rain, holding a tire iron. I unlocked the lobby door just enough to shout for him to come inside. Before he reached me, another man came out from behind the ice machine and hit him from the side. The truck driver went down hard. I slammed the lobby door shut and locked it again. The tall man watched me through the glass. Then he smiled and held up the room 12 key card. That was when I understood. Room 12 hadn't been rented by a guest who wanted shelter from the storm. It had been rented as a way inside. The tall man hit the lobby glass with something metal. The first hit cracked it. I backed into the office behind the desk and shoved the filing cabinet in front of the door. Through the wall, I heard the glass break. Then, slow, wet footsteps moved across the lobby. The office door opened an inch and hit the cabinet. He pushed harder. The cabinet scraped across the floor. Then a siren cut through the storm. The pushing stopped. Another siren joined it outside. Then he ran. Police found the truck driver alive but bleeding. The older couple in room 6 were locked in their bathroom. Someone had removed the window screen, but hadn't gotten inside yet. Room 12 was empty. Inside it, police found gloves, zip ties, 2 wallets, and a notebook with room numbers written in it. Room 6 had a note. Older couple, husband bad knee. Room 9 said, driver alone, truck keys. Beside the lobby, girl working desk. The man who checked into room 12 had used a stolen ID and paid cash for the deposit. Police believe there were 3 of them, one distracting guests, one cutting cameras and phone lines, and one waiting to force his way into the lobby. The storm wasn't bad luck. It was part of the plan. I quit that morning. The owner called it a freak incident, but freak incidents don't come with notes. They wait for thunder loud enough to cover breaking glass. Rain doesn't only make it harder to see outside. Sometimes, it makes it easier for someone outside to come in.